deck. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with 183 grams of this starting material here. CBD.
60% award-winning sour tsunami.
Sour tsunami CBD. We're going to run it through the short path once
Dope
again
Magazine
today.
Concentrate of the Month.
We're here with the Oil Tycoon concentrates, fellas. And we're going to be running some material here. Got the Welch cranking over here. The Dewar condenser chilled. Now it's time to load. So we'll show you guys how we load the system. We got the flask warmed up to about 100 degrees, a little over 100 degrees Celsius, just to keep things warm.
To evacuate any of the moisture inside the glass or anything.
Here is our 24 degrees Celsius at the vapor temperature in the head here. We've got water running. The reason we're getting some air bubbles in the condenser is we've got a missing seal on this bottom GL connection, so it's adding a little bit of oxygen into there, but it's still working properly. And then over here we've got the chiller warming up to about 40 degrees Celsius as a recirculating bath. And in the back here we've got it connected with just some quick water lines, quick connects. So let's go ahead and load the system and begin. Stay tuned.
Check out what I'm doing.
So we're just gonna fold this patty up.
Like you almost leave your hand there just to like.
Just for reference. So this is what we're gonna run, 183 grams.
Here we go. Watch out, guys.
So here we are, just loading up quite a bit in through the metal funnel here, just adding it right into the side port. You can see pulling a vacuum to assist pulling through here. We've loaded probably about 200 grams-ish. We're gonna load a little bit more here.
A lot more.
A lot more, actually.
A pound altogether. A pound is 60% CBD, 3.9% THC in the concentrate.
There you go. We'll keep you guys tuned in here as we continue this process. Hold on a minute.
Is it agitating?
Yeah. Alright, you guys, we're back. We're just starting to reach our first fraction, so I figured I'd break the camera out and show you guys where we're at. We're actually at 192 degrees Celsius and we're really climbing through this area. However, we're refluxing pretty good. This is where we're going to start refluxing in the head here in the Vigoro and essentially start to see some of your terpenes and other more volatile compounds at the lower temperatures here.
Get that.
So here you can see the consistent dip rate that we're achieving at 192 degrees Celsius.
That's your friend.
At the mantle. 125 degrees Celsius at the head.
And 125 here at 127.
Climbing.
At the thermoprobe at the top of the head here, just before the neck.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So you guys can see. Now the reflexes kind of started to slow down in the Vigoro a little bit, so you can tell we're just kind of trying to reach through this fraction. And as soon as we get to about 230 to 240, we should start to see things start to pick up speed and really get thicker and towards the
Also
consistency
collecting in the
that we're
cold
looking
traps and
for.
terps, you can see.
Yeah, we are getting cold traps across here in our terps in the cold trap across the line. Things that are just not necessarily condensing in the head and are making their way past. That's allow condensation before the vacuum pump, so we're keeping everything nice and clean.
That looks better than the last. Yeah, just
the color consistency.
The amount, the color, and everything. Yeah,
much better.
It's faster. We've had the same amount there faster than we did last time.
Yeah, you have a high volume. You have like what, 3 times the volume in here now?
But
double
the volume.
Yeah, we're double.
Yeah, double.
So we're reaching 206 degrees Celsius and climbing, so we'll catch back with you guys here in about 25 degrees. Alright you guys, we are back. I figured I'd just check in with you. We've broke past 220, which we're stuck at for a little while, just kind of fractioning off the terpenes, which we've now rotated the flask. You can see here. So this is where we've collected all of that. It's quite viscous. If I move it around, you can kind of see just a little jiggle. And then over onto this flask, we've started to thicken up, and you can just see it now dripping on in. This is a CBD prominent material that we are running today. The Sour Tsunami from Oil Tycoon. And you can see the color on this middle flask is just epic. So we'll continue to fraction off here. We're at, again, 224 Celsius on the mantle.
Set point's 235 on the mantle too, by the
The
way.
set point is 235. You can see in the Vigro, the color in here is clear.
It's just like water in there.
So we'll wait till we get to about 235. Things should thicken up, get a little darker in color, you would expect. But really fraction off some of the, probably the head stash of the run here, you would say. Now you can see the consistency,
I wish I could get in there and
the
get some right
speed.
now.
that we're dripping off here.
You know, a little access window.
There you go.
Sorry.
Look at that little nugget that's falling out. Look at that, you guys. The color on this is epic. So this is the open source steel 5-liter head running on a 2-liter flask here.
A 2-liter mantle.
And the 2-liter mantle.
Collection mantles or collection flasks we're using today for the round bottoms are 250 milliliters too.
These are 250 mils on the collection flask here. And then up top we've got the Thermo-Scientific thermocouple in there. We just got a little PTFE tape to make the diameter, the width that will secure down in one of these thermal adapters. And then over here we've got a thermocouple that's connected to the mantle, reading the internal temperature of the boiling bath here. So we'll catch back with you in about 10 degrees or so. Alright you guys, we're back. I want to show you the progress that we've made here on our fractions. We're getting down here. Things are darkening up consistently as the more concentration of black is remaining and the lighter consistencies are being taken out. You can see here our separate fractions. Try to get at a different angle for you guys. So down below we've got our collection flask here, the 250 ml, which is our most recent fraction. And then next up here we have a nice color and consistency in this ball here. And then final up here would be more of our terpenes and lower boiling point items here. So things are coming along pretty good here. We're writing down all of the data and the variables throughout the head, the mantle, the set point, and remaining a fraction at 232. This has been a lower fraction than some of our recent runs, but we're getting pretty good flow, so we figured we'd kind of just stick here. And also the temperature has been fighting, considering we're getting a good amount of condensation up in the condenser here.
One thing to note too, James, is that this bottom flask is turning quite green. So that's probably the chlorophyll. We're down here at the
We're
nitrates.
getting to that bottom, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to watch and keep an eye on the color and consistency and see if we don't see some lipids and some cloudiness starting to form up on the back end of the cow here.
Yeah, you can usually see it when you're looking at the bottom of the udder here, or the receiving head. You can see it spreads out. You can start to see the cloudiness form if you watch here from here. I mean, obviously you can watch it inside the bottom flask, but if you watch the spreading out of it here in the receiving head, you'll notice it cloud out.
We've got a pretty good just drip now. It's not a stream at all right now like it has been, so looks like we're moving and finishing off this last fraction and maybe moving into the next. Or there we go. Starting to flow pretty good. Yeah, it is. So we'll just keep an eye on color and consistency from here on out. Raise the mantle temperature just a little bit, but we are getting towards the bottom. We don't want to run this flask dry. So just keep an eye on things and we'll update you guys as we finalize up.
Yeah, one thing to note too, quickly before we end, is that this refluxing here has slowed down quite a bit. It was doing a bunch up in the ear even. The bumping was getting up, almost up over the shoulder.
I mean, it's pretty good that we're running this 5-liter head on this 2-liter flask. I mean, we've got quite a bit of Vigro indentations on this one compared to the 2-liter. And we're getting significant bumping up into the head here, but we're running high volume.
Yeah, quite a bit past the point, almost up to the shoulder and over. But
it was just enough height there in the column to restrict that from happening and hopping over, but things are looking good. So stay tuned, you guys, and we'll finalize out this short pass session. Keep you guys tuned in. Peace.
Really having there not much.
All right, you guys, we're back here, finalizing up the final fraction here.
Could you speak on
You can see how green and nasty and dark it is. We obviously don't want to be fractioning off this. No longer are we getting any reflux in the Vigoro column. And on the tail end here, we're getting a nasty cloudiness that we don't really want to be adding. Obviously, probably adding a pretty bad visual appeal to people who might want to be using it, but then again, might be some compounds you don't necessarily want to be having in there in the first place. So we'll probably take this ball, clean this out here, add some more in, and just refraction and run that through the short path. Here's the middle Dragon Ball, which comes out with your top shelf fine A grade. Very nice color and consistency on this here. And then here is your first fraction of the terpenes with a little bit of yellow drip from THC.
This one is a little clear in the middle, but if you refraction it, put it through a second pass, I'm sure you get well over 90% THC for sure. Or CBD in this case.
So there you go. We'll have to wait till the tests come back on the concentrations of the compounds in there, but we'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully you enjoyed this session at Short Path Distillation using the open source steel gear. Hopefully you enjoyed it. That's the 5-liter head on the 2-liter flask. I'm rocking the 3 250 ml Dragon Balls on the cow receiver here with the inline cold trap. And over here off to the side, the Welch 1400 Duo Seal. And last but not least, the VWR recirculating bath. So we're going to turn the head temp up to finalize things out. So we're going to turn it up to about 70 degrees Celsius. That'll help warm this condenser up to get this stuff to flow out of here and drip. It'll get stuck here, right here at the end, because there's obviously no condenser. We'll take it off, heat it up, and just drip it back into one of the Dragon Balls, being this one here. But there you go. That's the finalized process. Hopefully you enjoyed. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
The last one's run back in.